us. Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to the shop. We're going to undertake a little project today. I'm going to take a platter that I turned about 5 or 6 years ago and left in the back of the shop. And it got in half a bucket of water. Well, I went away and had a brain tumor. Don't worry about it. And I came back and I found it full of mold, mildew, bacteria, fungi, things growing on it. And I decided I was going to do something with it. First thing was, let's put a ring on it. Well, that's the management thought. Then I said, no, let's just make it where it smiles. That's what Ronnie told me. Make it to where it smiles. I want to do that. We got a few little things to talk about. All I want you to do, you know the deal, you got to watch. I'm going to say hello to an old friend right here. This is a shop-made vacuum chuck faceplate. It's sitting in my one-way revolving center. That could be my Barracuda or my Apprentice or my Vic Mark or half a dozen of them. It's just a chuck that grabs down on a block here. That block has got this 2 layers of 3/4 plywood right here. And this is set into a recess, and this is a clean out for a 3-inch sewer line. Okay? Now, that's all it is. This pipe you see right here goes all the way through, all the way past making shavings and all that, to my vacuum chuck down there. No, to my vacuum generator. Now, the vacuum generator is going to pull a little vacuum on this. How many ounces? Probably 25 or 30. It's going to get way up there. 30's it. So, is that going to hold it? Yeah, it's going to hold it. And I'll show you something. And if the sound cooperates, and I mean the sound cooperates, if that little microphone right there can hear it, you will actually hear this wood flex to get onto that chuck. Yeah, a flex. Now, I've got a mark on here, and I think that mark is center. I'm not sure. It looks like a little burn spot, but it could be the center. So I'm going to aim for it as a center. Now, to hold it or get it started, I'm going to put it between centers and bring this up. Oh yeah, that's my one-way revolving center with a version of the soft touch on it. A version. My version originally was made out of wood. Here's one here. See it? It's wooden. It's tapped 3/4 10. A guy from Texas sent me this and said, here, try this. Now, you might want to know who his name is. I would too. But I got my name and brought it on my underwear so I know who I am. I cannot remember names. I'm sorry. That went away with a stroke. So we're going to put it in there, and then we're going to take a quick look at it and see that's a little high. And you see how we're doing that? We're just turning it a little easy. Now, I'm not going to put it on the power. In fact, I haven't put the power on the machine yet. A little bit there. So I'll pull this back just a little. Go back up, check it again. Now, I think that's running pretty true. Now, what I'm going to do is vacuum chuck this and then hold it so I can sand the bottom and this edge and probably a little bit of this other side while I can get it here. But I don't want to sand too much pushing this way because I'll push it off the vacuum chuck. But when you see how much this is holding, you're going to say, you ain't pushing that off the vacuum chuck. But let's try that. First off, I have to say, look at the chatoins that thing's got. Look at it. See the flash? The wood's got a flash in it, so we're going to get that out. Right now, I'm running a little bit out of true. I'm still high on one corner, and because I leaned over it to get to something. So I'm going to put it back where it's supposed to go. I'm going to bring up my tool rest. This is just a 4-inch tool rest. No magic. Okay? I drop it in there. Make sure I don't make contact, because I don't want any dings and nicks I got to live with. I got to live with all of them. So I'm going to get up to my happy spot right there. And then I'm going to put it in and just spin it easy. And I'll be doggone. There it is. That's where it's rubbing, right there. So I back it up a little bitty bit. Give it a little bit of fuzz. I got all this tight. And then go and look at it again. Now, I'm looking right here. and I'm not getting a lot of movement there. So I'm kind of thinking that might be where I want to be. Let's take a chance. Let's take the tool rest out. I'm going to put my shield on because this could break, pop, hurt, fly, injure, wound, knock my eyes out, or whatever. So I've got that, and now we're going to spin it just a little bit. It'll spin. Now, my vacuum generator is over on the table over there, and it's out of my reach. So I went and cheated, and I got my strip cord, my little power cord here, and I put a power cord on it. You heard it come on? The marvels of electricity, huh? All right. Now, you can't see it from where you are. But look at that. I was making contact a minute ago, wasn't I? You saw it. I didn't reach over there and turn this knob. I didn't do anything. That bowl has flexed over a 16th, maybe an 1/8. All right, 3/32. Has flexed in. And now it is being held on here at about 25 ounces of vacuum. Now let's shield down. I'm running about 200 RPMs. That's running pretty true. You know, I can work with this. So I'm going to say that this is right, this is happy, this is it, this is where I want to be. Now we're going to do some sanding. Right? Right. Now, before we start sanding, I want to explain that I could hold this in my Longworth chuck and grab it here on the outside to find the center and get it lined up. And then I could, with a hot glue gun, put a block on it so I can turn it around and work on the face. Turn it back and take the glue block off easily. That's why I said you hot glue, not super glue or anything. Hot glue, and you can mark it off, then you got back. This is very thin, it's deflecting some, it's going to get carved. I wish I could show you how much it deflected, but this is being held here. But again, we could do this with a Ron Brown's Best expandable chuck. You can do it along with, you build yourself. I got the parts for that if you want to build one, and directions are on my website. You can do it by just putting it on a faceplate and putting duct tape on it to hold it in place. Any which way you need to hold it. Now, for sanding, we're going to go and attack this thing with a self-powered sander. This is one of my favorite little projects. This is one where you see that bushing, but you don't see down in there is a rare earth magnet at the bottom. You see that bushing, but you don't see down the bottom of that, and another rare earth magnet. Okay. Now, this is from Vince's Wood and Wonders. And it's, wow, it's even got his name on it, vincethewoodandwonders.com. That'll make it, and this will spin. Okay, you got it. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm shielded up. I'm going to take some 120 grit, power on the machine, shield up. I'm making contact about 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock on this hand. See that? Right there? Just light contact, not heavy contact. And it's starting to run. I gotta change direction of the hand I was holding it with. You see? And I'm getting a good sand on it because I'm generating sawdust coming off the face of it, or fine. Not sawdust, probably the old finish coming off. And it's coming around, and I'm getting a scuff cut. I want to explain what that is. A scuff cut is, instead of just using paper and going flat into it, but give me a whole bunch of rings here this way. Scuff cut, I'm getting rings that are going across. And that takes it for a better finish. Shield up. making contact down here, way over here. 4 to 5 o'clock on a clock. Now I'm stepping up through the grits. Started the 120, knocked a lot of it off. I see some high spots in there. See the dark spots? Those still holding some finish. This thing is dished in a good bit. I just stepped up to 180 and I got a lot of it off, but let me show you something. Do you see those little marks? Little marks that tell me the pad's loading down. So the finish is still on there. I think the worst thing I can do is just crank it up and do this. I might move that finish off. If I'm going to leave some scratches I have to live with or live without. And if I want this thing to be great, look at it. See the load up? That's the old finish coming off. I can get it off, but I have to remember that when I get done with this step, if I do it this way and buff it off straight, I have to fix all these scratches. So we get in here and take a look at it now. See, I'm scratching it, and there's the straight line scratches right there. Those straight line scratches will show up in my finish later. Watch. There they are. They're still there. And yeah, I did spit on it. That's how I'm going to take care of it. Once I have the finish knocked off, I'm going to go back to my rotating, my self-powered sander at 230 RPMs. Okay? Gotcha. Because I have most of the finish knocked off, I'm going to go back to a 120 pad. This is new, fresh, clean from Vince. Shield up. I'm going to sand rotating to take those scratches off. This pan will get friction and work at the top or the bottom. But let me tell you the natural course of things. The bottom, if it bounces away. The top, if it bounces in. Okay, you got that? 120 grit. It's going to go all the way around. Look out, pick up some speed. Going across. So I've got to put my shield back in. Now I believe I removed all that old finish because I have no clogging on here. Nice. That's what I'm looking for. If this clogs, it's burnishing. Smooth is not sanded. Smooth can be burnished. I don't want to burnish this. I want it to receive. We're going to talk more about getting out scratches. We've done this to 600 grit with the soft pad. That's the soft pad on a self-powered sander. I could probably do it with an electric sander or an air sander. I got an air sander somewhere. Here we go. I could probably do it with this. Yeah. But don't really use it that much. In fact, look at this. It's frozen. I was going to give it to a kid that does automotive work, only if I can get it spinning again. But no. Number one, too many RPMs, I'll damage that disc and throw this off. Number two, I didn't need that many RPMs. I was on pretty damn good with this. So you can build this any length you want. You can build it to go straight in on the bottom of a bowl or at a 45. It's not that exact. Alright, but that is a 600 grit. Now this is ready for sealer. Now what I didn't say a little while ago was this edge. I'm going to clean this edge off a little bit and then we're going to seal it. Now I went from 120 to 150, 180, 220, 320, 400. I'm at 400 now. And what I did was this edge, cleaned it up, and then I recleaned this a little bit. Now I'm dealing with 400 grit paper right now. 400. Now, as long as I'm generating, you can see it coming off right over there. See it? That's sawdust. As long as I'm generating sawdust, I'm okay. If I'm loading this down and it's getting slick, then I'm not generating sawdust. I am burnishing. Anything wrong with that? It's a finishing art. But my preference is let's get it sanded. So I'm back in. I'm straight on without the orbital, and I went all the way around. I'm going to come back and put the 600 back on it again. I'm going to clean this off a little. Now I could do this with water, but I don't want to inject any water into this finish right now because it's bone dry. And I don't need it to make it work. But if I wanted to sand this wet, I could. But I'm generating sawdust. You can almost see it coming off. I can see it. You can almost see it coming off. I'm generating sawdust with 600 grit paper. See it? That's what we're looking for. Why? Because we got to get that in our lungs to get good. No, because it means the sandpaper's working. We're now sanded to 600. We did it with the orbital sander to take the scratches out. I want to talk about that for 1 second. Okay, I sanded 120, 150, 180, 220, 320, 400. Good steps, all using paper from Vince Welch. No magic paper, really. I had blues, I had greens, I had reds, I got a gray. Doesn't matter. I'm not cutting anything so exotic that I got to worry about the paper or how well it's going to work. It's working very nicely. Good. I've got a great finish on here. Really good. Now, why do I have a great finish on here now? Well, because what I did was eliminate scratches. If I'd sanded this with 120 or 150 and 180 and stopped and I sanded it straight on, just holding that paper up like this or on a pad and sanded straight, what I did was I scratched that lumber in uniform lines, like here, concentric, right like that, okay? So I got these lines, and when I went from 120, 150, 180, all I did was reduce the size of those lines. I didn't reduce the lines. Then when I went to the orbital sander, which it does, watch. I'm not sanding across. Look, see the paper, where the paper is moving? The paper is scuffing across. Now, what is that doing? Eliminating these lines, making them go down, flatten them out, homogenize them. Let's do that, all right? And then I put in smaller lines, the 600 grit, going across them. Why? When light hits this piece, it's gonna the light is gonna find those bumps in those lines. That's what happens. The light finds them, and then when you look at it, you say, "Oh, that looks good." When are you gonna sand it out? It ain't funny. No, you sand it out right now. I really believe that if you understood how a finish is created and how it works, you will better understand how to make your work beautiful. I've seen a lot of pieces shown at galleries, show and tell and all that, and I looked at it and thought, boy, if the guy could only sand. And we used to joke with one guy about, hey, did you sand this with a red brick or a gray brick? You know, because that's the look, looks like what you sanded it with. But, and then I had a guy hand me what he thought was his most prized possession in the world and said, what do you think about it? And I was kind of naive, and I said, boy, it'd be nice when you sand it out. He was done. Whew. My left foot didn't taste well at all. But if you learn that there is no magic formula number 7, I won't be telling you about magic formula number 7 that you can pick up and spray on this stuff or squirt on or rub in or massage and everything's going to get better. It doesn't happen. If that's not ready, it's not ready. If it won't take a finish, it won't take a finish. Or when you do just what I'm going to do here. This is my 50/50 Deft lacquer sanding sealer. Lacquer sanding sealer from Deft, D-E-F-T. Right? PPG Paint sells it. Ace Hardware can order it for you. You can get it from Amazon.com. It's a good lacquer sander sealer. Blue paper towel, never a rag. I'm going to put some on it. I'm going to show you magic. Now, I'm not spinning this. I'm just rubbing it in. I want to show you what happens when the sandpaper has done its job. Just the sandpaper. No magic. There's no secret ingredient number 5. You could probably do this with a half a dozen other brands of sealers. I don't have them. I like the Deft and I stick with it. Why? I've been using this formulation of Deft since 1962. Not this bottle, but you know, the formulation. I worked in a cabinet shop, and the guy that did the touch-ups and finishes, he'd rub on lacquer sanding sealer, and that would base out the piece. Now, you're watching. Look at that piece. Look, see that's your toys. You see the reflection? It's smiling at you, boys, gals. Now, I'm going to put the vacuum chuck back on, pull it away, and retouch all this and rub a little bit on the speed. Did this to show you that I've got the finish I want because I sanded it and I sealed it. I didn't take a shortcut with anything. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. No shortcuts. Normally run into the big bad hairy wolf when you do that. Let's not go there. Big bad hairy wolf can stay where he's supposed to stay. Okay, a couple of quick things. You can see how well it is now. It's starting to reflect. It has just got sealer on it. Now, paper towel is the key, because if this was a rag cloth or a sock or a piece of trash or whatever, and it was fabric and it got caught in one of these little notches along here, like, oh, I got one, I saw it just a minute ago. Wow, sealed it back. There it is. If that caught that rag, that would strain these fingers. I get enough of that crap. I don't need any more. So, I am putting the sealer on in light coats. Now, when I get all the sealer on, I've got just about 3 coats now. And it's not too much. Watch. What I did was smooth it out, take off any shop dust and wrinkles that got on it, and now I get a chance to look at it. So if I see a defective here, or a crack or a line, I gotta fix it now, because Super Formula number 742 won't fix that. Can't fix the wood. Alright? Now, because I have things I have to do, and I've had a little blood problem, I have to take a break now. But I'm going to put a coat of Obi Shine Juice on this and work that in before we turn it around. Okay, stick around. We're going to talk more about this. Hey, I'm back here. It got a little blood problem, so not active in the shop right now. But we're out here and we're doing things, right? Okay. Now I put the OB shine juice on this last night, and I rubbed in 2 coats, and I did it with a paper towel. OB shine juice. It is 3 components. They're equal, and the components are boiled linseed oil. The product you buy, don't boil linseed oil. Boiled linseed oil is a product. That's 1. Number 2, denatured alcohol. If you're some other part from the United States, you need a thinner for white or clear shellac. I said white or clear. Why? Depends on what the paint company calls it, but it's not colored. It doesn't have white in it. We used to call it white shellac because you could get brown shellac, and you could get an orange shellac, and but that was a long time ago, in a land far, far away. 3 equal parts: boiled linseed oil, denatured alcohol, and shellac. And I put them in a squeeze bottle that I get at Harbor Freight. Now, if you could see this up close, and you can't because you're not up close, I have an oil, a shellac, and a denatured alcohol. Yeah, they separated last night. They do that. They'll split up. But guess what? Yeah, it's all mixed up. It's all right. It's ready to go. Now, that's about 3 ounces or so. That'll last me several months because I don't need a lot. And if it seems not to work as well, add some alcohol to it because that's what's getting out. But I put it on there last night. All right, so we'll get back to this. And now I have a coat or 2 of sealer. We did 2 or 3 sealer, and that was that Def sealer. And I want to call it Wonder Wood sealer because that's what we used to get when I was a kid. It was DeVoe Wonder Wood sealer. Yeah, it's that a long time ago. But now I have the piece with the base finish on it. I want to get up close and show you, see if I can get the light right. Now that is what we're working with right now. See, I'm flipping a little bit so you can get the light right. Do you see any rings or marks or tears or scratches? I'm moving real slow. Get it up there, we can get the light bouncing off of it, because the light's what's going to do it. The light does it every time. Nope. But that's what it started looking like. We started with it looking like this. Yeah, we can push the button and get this out of here. It was dark and stained up and water blotched and had some paint on it. Well, I sanded that off. But that was all on there, and now it's all under this. Now, as a routine finish, and I can go put this thing up on in display, I'd have no problem doing this just like this. Doing this just like this? Yeah, we can do that. And just having this piece finished out like this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, number one, I'm going to take a really, really hard look at it. It's been sitting for a day. I'm going to see if there's any little scratches or imperfections that I need to buff out, and I'll buff them out with some 400, 600 grit paper, and then do the sealer and OB again if I have to. But I looked at it real hard before, because when I put the sealer on, what I saw with the sealer is my finished product by my eye. It ain't the one you're selling or the one you're giving away or the one you're showing. It's by your eye. So this is going to be ready to go to a final coat. Now what can it be? Funny you should ask that. What would I put on it? Well, I could go easy and cheap right now. Stop, take it out, and put it up on a plate, up on a holder, and spray it with clear, deft finish, clear, deft lacquer finish. I could spray it with Krylon clear finish from the Ace Hardware store. I could spray it with the Ace Hardware store brand clear lacquer. But I want to spray it lightly, and I'm going to do it in thin coats. Why? Because it's thinner than water. I mean, it will run and sag and bleed and tear. It'll fill a few little planks. But it's thin, thin, thin. Now, that's what I could do. That's a quick fix. Next, I could just go and get my, where the heck is it? My Starbond CA, regular Starbond CA. And I could put it back on a vacuum chuck, and I could wipe in the Starbond CA. That's a tricky maneuver because it's a pretty good area, and I'm going to have to want to make contact. Now I'll show you that. And going out, and that would give me a CA finish. It's not a great finish. It's a super finish, super glue. Yeah. All right. Now I've heard all these other about these slow drying and fast reacting and skin proof and all that stuff. I've been playing with CA for 12, 14 years, and I kind of like it. Don't think I want to relearn it. So, all right, now, this is ready to get a high quality finish. Why don't we put the CA on it? You got a minute? All right, we're going to put some CA on it. I'll put it back on a vacuum chuck. I haven't turned on a vacuum yet. I've got my soft touch made of cork, of a cork from the hardware store, that's holding it up there, and look. Sprint's pretty damn true. All right, the flickering you see is what we want. Reflectivity, the chatoyance of the wood. See, look, see the color change? See it? That's what you're looking for. Now, I talk about this a lot, and got some turners to say, is that important? Okay, so I had a guy call me the other day, and after we talked about an hour or so, he called me back. He says, all right, let's change product. And okay, let's change product. He said, what if that was plexiglass? Huh? He said, if that was plexiglass and I scratched it with a tool or a card or the edge of my utility knife or whatever, and I put gouges in it, it's like if I just took this lens and put gouges across it, which I've got some in here. How do I get them out? Well, I have to make the gouges go away in order for the light to pass through them. So I either got to make them wavier and smoother, take the points off, or eliminate them. It's exactly what this guy thought it was like, you know, we just crossed the desert, whatever. He said, isn't that's what you need to explain is, when I can't see this, when I can't see this for reflectivity, the chatoyance, that means I don't have the surface sanded right. Voila! That's a French term for whoopee. All right, now, I like EMO2 from Starbond. Really nice folks. Family operation. See them every year at Waco. Really great people. They've worked with me. We've talked chemicals and formulas and storage and everything else. It's just the way I go. Now, I'm going to crank up the that's the vacuum chuck. Now, you can't just now, we were spinning, we were touching this. You see it? There's an eighth of an inch. There is the thickness. All right, you guys, for your old cabinet shop guys. That thickness. That's the thickness of an X46 stick roll. Lufkin, yeah, X46A. Right? That's how much it flexed in when I put the pressure on it, or put the vacuum on it. Now, this is ready to go. I'm going to shield up, because I can't get this in my face, my glasses, my eyes. And hey, I'm wearing my glove, okay? Gotcha. Real slow. I don't get to go back on it to rub it in. The molecular structure that I created on that surface is now there and it's curing. it was curing before I got from this point to this point. You got me? So I don't want to go back and forth. I'll wrinkle it, rubble it, trap crap and all that. Oh yeah, clean up this spout and this all on top of the spout before you get started. You don't want whatever's coming off this to go in there. Did you catch that? We just put a coat on. Two coats. Three coats. I put 3 coatings of CA on there. Now, that to me is a pretty damn good finish. Now it's still curing, still getting there. I could go nuts, get my accelerant, spray it with accelerant, and it'll jump on it. I'm going to let the moisture in the air. It's a pretty dry day today. I'll let the moisture in the air cure this product, and when it's cured, it's going to be hard. And then I can take my Scotch-Brite pads, and I can go through the course, either this one or the brown one or this gold one or whatever, or I can go for the white one and knock it down and take the fuzz off. And after I get that done, I'm going to polish it. And oh man, I got a little piece of trash right there, see? And that'll take that trash off. There's something that was on the bottle, or in the air, or I sneezed or whatever. But this is building up a nice finish. Bulletproof finish. Now I went ahead and buffed it off with this white, which is finest grade. This is that Scotch-Brite pad. Don't steal one out the kitchen. You need to buy these. Okay, so I buffed it off. You can see I lost some shine on it because I did that. So let's put some shine back. There's a lot of noise in the marketplace right now about polishing paste. Well, this is a piece, this is stuff made by Axe, A-C-K-X, abrasive sanding paste, abrasive sanding paste. And it's made here in America. All right, we're going to go for this. Turn the speed back up to about 200 RPMs. We'll put a little bit on a blue paper towel. Again, remember, no rags. And we're going to put it on, and we're going to take this sanding wax, and we're going to buff in the finish I have on there. Now, I don't want to overheat it, so I want to keep adding a little bit of product to it, because if I dry it out, I don't say that. If I dry it out, I'll wrinkle the finish, or damage the finish. So I'm just going to buff it. What am I doing? I am now removing fine ridges I just put in with the Scotch-Brite pad, which were really fine ridges, but they held light back. So what I've done now is buff this out. Now you see I lost my fogginess on that, and it's back to being clear again, which is critical. And it was just a little bit of that Axe abrasive sanding paste, and that's going to be one of the gifts in our contest. We got a couple of contests coming up. The first challenge is the fingertops. I said the first challenge because we're going to keep rock and rolling. Now I'm going to go to the polishing and restoration paste. Now this is mineral, beeswax, and carnauba wax, all in a blend here. Yeah. Again, blue paper towel. I don't need a lot of this. In fact, this container will last you forever if you don't abuse it and overuse it. Yeah. Now what I've done. The products are easy. I have a vehicle. I have a Um, that's the mineral oil along with beeswax, and then to get a good hard finish on it, I have carnauba wax mixed in there, or Axe does. And we're putting it on, and I am feeling a little surface tension, so let's stop it down right now. Now, we didn't do a lot except, wow! You see it? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that flash. And it came up. Why? Because this is dead gloss smooth. Dead gloss smooth. Where you want to be. Now, you're looking at the finish. Do you see the wrinkles or lines or tears? No. All that is now smooth. I want to say homogeneous. I'm told don't say that anymore. It's like I would refer to this as a chatoyance, and my wife says, quit using that, you sound silly. I took a platter and refinished it, or finished it. Take the re out. Finished it. I put a sealer, Obi Shine juice, that sealed the wood, made it slick, then I covered it with CA, easy. What I used, 5 drops of CA, 6 drops of CA, cost-wise. And then I buffed it out with that Axe paste and with the Axe finish wax. Now, I would let this sit and rest. Really. I'd let it rest, and then I'd come back with my piece of cloth by hand, and I would buff it out a little bit. Why? Well, there's still got some there. Well, now they're not there. I just buffed out the little bitty marks and lines I could see on it, and they're gone. This is like a piece of china. We went from this to this. Now, I stretched it out, took my time, and I'm not going to bear with you to do the whole thing. I'll put a picture of it up here on Facebook or whatever. But that's what it takes to get a good finish. It can be a bowl, a box, a stopper, an ink pen, a platter, a plate, a chart. Any of those things, they all finish the same. Great. Right? Well, I'm Captain Eddie Castle, and the phone's ringing. I got to get, because right now it's time to start making shavings. Hold on, I'm coming. Boy. Hey, sorry I had to run away like that, but that is the business line. There's only one line. The number, 504-715-0512. That's how you call me. That number right there. If you want to order parts, cutters, supplies, template, tools, whatever that we have on our website, www.eddiecastelin.com, on the combos page and cutters page, are things we sell. When you call, that's the phone you're going to get. You're going to talk to me. If you got a problem, you want to talk something over, you show me a picture or whatever, that's what you do to me. If you have something you want to send me a photo of, send it to my email address only. Email address. Got to get this right. It's capt.eddie@gmail.com. CAPN@eddiecastellin@gmail.com. That's the email address. All right, now, epilogue for today. We sand it with supplies we got from Vince Welch at Vince's Wooden Wonders. I used a 3-inch disc. I went from 120, 180, 220, 320, 400, 600, 800, and sanded this down. All right? Didn't matter what product I used. All the sandpaper for this wood and taking this finish off will work about the same. I don't need screens, meshes, diamonds, mica, critical. Call Vince if you got confused about it, but tell him what you're working on. All right. We sanded it, then we sealed it. 50% deft lacquer sanding sealer and 50% of lacquer thinner. And that's how I got my little magic bottle of sander sealer. We put 2, maybe 3 coats on it. We put them in, let it spin. We put 50-50 because it dries faster and it goes in better. All right? Then we buffed it off. Then we coated it with a product that I call OB Shine Juice. Now, OB Lacoste out of Lacoste out of Lafayette, didn't create this. But I understand that the guy that says he created it took lessons from OB before he went home and made it. So, but this is 1/3 of denatured alcohol, 1/3 boiled linseed oil, and 1/3 of clear shellac. Don't get the white colored stuff. Clear shellac, okay? Then we had that on. We spun it back up on a vacuum chuck again. And we put 2 or 3, actually we put 6 coats of CA on it by Star Bond. Star Bond. You can buy directly from Star Bond. Here's my deal. If I have to buy something from a distributor, I don't know how old it is or how it's been handled or where it's been warehoused. If I buy it from the manufacturer, I know how old it is, how it's distributed, and how it's warehouse taken care of. And I'm talking to the guy that did it, not the guy that's moving it, the guy that did it, or the family. Okay, then we get the CA on. I buffed off the CA with the white Scotch Brite pads. I've got them in about 5 colors. I got a burgundy, a gold, a tan, a brown, and a white. I got 6 colors. They're different grits. But we came back with the finest, the white one, and buffed off anything that may have stayed on the surface. Just surface trash that's in the air a little bit. And got all that off. Then I polished it. Wait, that wasn't enough? No, it wasn't enough. I polished it with Axe polishing paste. Axe, A-C-K-S. Polishing paste. And that cleaned up those little bitty minute places. And then I put a coat of wax, a beeswax, carnauba wax, and mineral oil on this to put a finish on. And now it's going to rest for a while before I put it on the faceplate, on the vacuum chuck, face it up this way and make this ugly side look like this side. Yes, it's the same piece of wood. You see it? So that's the epilogue for today. Phone's ringing again. Thank you. I'm going to talk to you this time.